welcome back to this 6-part series. This series all revolves around the 5x5 and the core concepts around the 5x5, and most importantly, how we use and apply it in a very, very, very practical way. Now, in this 6-part series, there are 6 separate graphics. This graphic, you could watch all 5 of the previous videos and it would put this 6th graphic in a much, much better context. But this is one of the 6 videos that I would say also stands on its own. Even if you're not using the 5x5 or any specific core concepts or principles from the 5x5, this 4-point formula for building systems, I would say still stands on its own, but it also partners really well with the 5x5. We use it personally in conjunction with the 5x5, but it does stand on its own to a certain extent as well. So what is this 4-point formula system for building systems? First of all, let me tell you why it even exists. Why it exists is because the number of times that I've heard people say, discuss, or believe that it's all about systems, and that just that sets me off, okay? Because I don't agree with that statement. I think that's a partial statement, but people take that as a full statement and a full concept. It is not all about systems. It's about systems that we will honor. It's not about building systems, it's about building systems we will honor. It's not about having systems, it's about having systems we will honor. Now, why is that so important? There's a huge difference between that. So I have people that have sought me out for years around, say, time management, time blocking, all that type of stuff, because it's an area that I'm very confident in, I have a lot of fun with, I'm crazy passionate about it. It's almost a love language of mine, okay? And people know that, or people who have seen it in real time are like, oh my gosh, that's not fake. You really do that, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I absolutely do. And so they try to learn from my time management and time blocking systems. Here's where it crushes my soul just a little bit. You've got people that either went to a class that I did, or they've seen a video that I've done, and they take a screenshot or a phone picture of what my calendar looks like. And then they go away for a week. I never met these people. I don't know these people. They'll find me on Facebook, and then they message me in the background, or they email me and go, David, you're going to be so proud of me. Look at my calendar. And then they send me a screenshot of their calendar. And they'll say, I went away this weekend and I built my time blocking system. I built out my time management system. It crushes me, because here's the thing is, they may have built out a system, but they didn't build out a system that they are even capable of honoring today. Something like time management, time blocking is a learned skill. You don't go from nothing to where you want to be overnight. There is a progression to go from here to, we'll just say, the place I'm at with it at this point, okay? It is a progression, and it's small baby steps along the way. You don't go from here to seeing one class and the next day you build that system. Why? That system may be amazing. It may be the greatest thing that's ever been invented. That doesn't mean that you are capable of honoring it. So sometimes when we build systems, we have to look at the fact that, yes, this is what the ideal system looks like, but we have to build a system we're even capable of honoring, because if we have a system that once we get stressed out, we just default back to our old way of doing it, I really don't care what your system is if you're incapable of honoring the system. So that's one example of what we talk about in this graphic. So let's go through the graphic real quick. First, it doesn't start with systems even. So that's the second point I want to make. The first one is it's not about systems, it's about systems that you will honor. The second one is, and I had to start with that even though it's later in the graphic, due to the fact that that's where most of the conversation is. It's not even where, systems isn't even where the conversation should be starting. It literally is not where the conversation should be starting. Why do we even have systems? We have systems to help us achieve standards. So you have to start with standards. What's our standard? So here's another one. I won't talk about time blocking again. Now let's just talk about communication on a team. We have communication standards. Okay, so we have a standard of communication. From there, we're going to build a system around that helps us to achieve a standard. That's an important part of the equation here. You have systems to help you achieve a standard. You have to know what the standard is first. It starts with standards. It starts with standards. It doesn't start with systems. It never does. It starts with standards. What's the standard that you're trying to achieve? Then, what is the system that will help you to achieve the standard? Then, here's the number one skill from my opinion and my experience working with people. Number one skill, important word there is skill. Number one skill that is lacking is then how to communicate that system. Now, what's my standard for communication on a system? I want to communicate it where, think about it from this point of view. How would I need to say it? How would I need to present it in a way that if I went to go present it to an individual, even if this isn't the way I'm going to do it, this is the way I have to envision it so that I put enough thought into this and put the words together properly so that if I were to go into that individual's office, shut the door behind me, and I explain it to them, I go through the whole thing with them, and then I get up and I walk out and I shut the door behind me, the first thing that they do, this is the way I envision it. How do I have to say it to achieve this next reaction? When I leave that office and I shut that door, they put their head down and go, that guy is a genius. That guy is brilliant. In fact, I wish we would have started this 6 months ago. I wish we would have had this the last couple of years. I wish we would have implemented this a year ago. What do I have to say and how do I have to present it so that's the reaction I get? And then the last part is this. And by the way, that is a learned skill to learn how to communicate at that level. And guess what? After you've done it once or twice, you're not going to do it as well as once you've done it 30, 40, 50, 60 times. It's a progression. It's a skill set that we can grow. The last thing is, we've now got a standard. We've built a system that helps us achieve the standard. We've learned how to properly communicate that with people, whether it's customers, vendors, our team, our leaders, anything. The last part of it is this. Then you got to honor the system. The amount of people that have a system, but everything's an exception. Come on, you don't have a system. You're not honoring that. Now, some of it is you're just making exceptions. Other things are you've built a system that is so advanced. It might require an advanced skill set and an advanced discipline that you might need to grow into a system that is your dream system. Okay? Don't have a system that you're incapable of honoring or unwilling to honor. And some people will get upset. I've had these conversations. Our team doesn't honor the system. Okay? And I'm going to go back through, what is the standard you're trying to achieve? What does that system look like to help you achieve that? Now, how did you communicate that to them? Well, we let them know, we set it out in email, and it's in our contract and everything else like that. That's how you communicated it. That's the level that you communicated it. When you communicated at that level, are they like, oh my gosh, that is brilliant? Well, I doubt. No, it's what we require of them. Okay. There may be another way to communicate that at a higher level, to get a different reaction, but also a different follow-through that they want. They literally can't imagine not honoring the system because it is the ideal, it is the dream, and you've presented it that way to me, and I know what the benefit is to me and my customer and the team, okay? So that's what this graphic means. Now that concept for building a system, those 4 points could stand on its own as a graphic, but we now put that in context. Also, when we talk about what is the standard, when we get to the system part, that's where the 5x5 comes back in, and everything is informed by, filtered through, and audited against the 5x5, as you've heard in previous videos. So that's the end of our 6-part series on the 5x5 core concepts and principles in your Cultivate Wins guide. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.